And welcome to Iron Port, which is proudly brought to you by West Blue Consulting, Ghana Oil Company Limited, and Ghana Community Network Services. Media partners, Business and Financial Times, Daybreak Newspaper, Daily Graphic, Ghana Web, Daily Searchlight, and Maritime and Transport Digest. People, the entire month of September we have dedicated to review the paperless process that began exactly September in the year of 2017. We've been trying to find out what's the assessment of that project. Has it improved the clearance processes in the port as it was hoped to be? And we began by talking to some of the agencies last week. This week, we're going to talk to the lead agency when it comes to implementing the paperless process. Whether indeed people can now clear goods out of their port within 4 hours as the Vice President wished it happens after the containers have been deposited, whether indeed government is making a lot of revenue, whether indeed there is transparency at both ends from the government side and also from the importer side, because it is important. We speak to customs, an extensive interview. This is a special edition of Iron Port. Take a listen. The paperless, we are in the month of September, and exactly a year ago, you were very busy with your men on the field trying to ensure that the paperless directive that was given by the Vice President works.
Yeah.
How has the journey been for you, Sen?
It has been smooth. Largely, it has been smooth. As you rightly said, we started paperless somewhere last year, September. It wasn't a surprise we started it around that time because last year, February, Trade Facilitation Agreement, the World Trade Organization Trade Facilitation Agreement entered into force.
Okay.
And as the name implies, trade facilitation.
Yes.
So Ghana
decided to do everything that would ensure trade facilitation.
These were measures put in place, to enhance trade facilitation in Ghana. So it came at the right time.
So the Vice President wanted 100% paperless at Ghana's port. Do we have 100% paperless at Ghana's port?
When it comes to customs at the port,
yes.
Yes, I would say nearly 100%.
100% or nearly 100%?
That's the figure. To say 100%
means that totally paperless?
Yes, totally paperless at the port.
Do we have
the customs officer does not demand hard copies of declaration before he carries on with his examination or the processing.
Okay.
Everything is in the system, which is electronic. All copies of documents are there in the system. So it's just a question of providing the declaration number to the customs officer at the port. The officer is able to navigate the declaration, and then whatever data, information, whatever checks, verification he or she needs to do, will do that and then process the document.
No, but it appears that people are still carrying papers around. What are the papers for?
Many a times this question is posed. I go to the port, you see people.
Yeah,
you talk about
papers.
The public and
clearing agents.
Yeah, that's the public coming to some for their own use, probably for their own use.
You sure?
Oh yeah, yes. I've been going to the field and I do ask them these questions. Okay, some will tell you my client is demanding I should print, so they print it from their front end.
Because sometimes they say they have even copies of the papers they have. Several photocopies that they have to hand to officers.
Well, then I don't know which area you're talking about.
I see.
I don't know.
But in your area, there
in my
should be
area,
no demand
when
of paper.
it comes to examination of goods, that's the port. That's why I keep stressing the port, where the action takes place.
Yeah.
Examination of goods. We don't demand paper from anybody, and we have posters everywhere, notices everywhere, asking the agents and importers not to yield to any demand for paper. And none of my officers will even demand paper. All they need is the declaration number. And then with the declaration number, they were able to do whatever they need to do.
So what is happening now? Are agents sitting in their offices and passing declaration?
Exactly. Everything is electronic. The agent will sit in their offices and then electronically submit their declaration, and then the system will validate the declaration. It will go through the process, and then through compliance which is now at the headquarters, then the declaration will be routed to the field. That is TEMA. Everything is done electronically.
So
when it's routed to the field, the examination officer at the port can open his or her account and will be able to list all declarations that have come to them that very day. Okay, so they will be waiting for the declarant to approve them, and then they will go ahead. But that is it. Generally, they know everything is electronic. They don't need the declarant to come with a hard copy before they start doing their work.
I see. So when we see the agents walking around, why are they around? Can they sit in their offices and do every work? Do you need them to be around?
Yeah, when it comes to physical examination. Yeah.
But with the exception of physical examination, they shouldn't be near you.
No, they are there just to ensure that whatever they have brought is being accounted for or is being checked by customs. Otherwise, they don't need to come to the port.
Has the situation always been like this since September 1st, 2017? Or you just got to this sort of final perfection at the latter part? From the beginning till now, how has
usually implementation of new policies from the beginning, it wouldn't be that smooth.
Okay.
And it wasn't.
So from the beginning, probably
it took a lot of effort. Personally, I do go to the field, to ensure that the right thing is done. It took a lot of effort, but with time, as we were evolving it, it's now come to a point, I would say we are nearing perfection as far as the paperless is concerned.
When it comes to customs?
When it comes to customs, I'm talking about customs. When it comes to customs, yes.
I see. And so if you are giving yourself percentage, as the Vice President wished for 100%, what would you say customs?
1 year after implementation of paperless at the port, as far as examination of goods and processes, at the port is concerned, I will give, if I had given 100% at times, I may not be accurate. But I would say nearly 100%, we're getting there.
What figure would you give then? Nearly can be 70.
Nearly can be, it can be 90. Why not 98? Why not say 98?
98%.
Why not say 98? Yes, because there's no instance where anybody has reported that an officer requested for a hard copy of a document, I couldn't provide it, and because of that, my job is delayed. It has never happened, and you can go to the field to ask any agent operating there.
Okay.
Unlike the previous times, some officers will wait for declarations to come, hard copies, to be placed on their desk before they could work. No.
That doesn't happen.
No.
And the long room, what's taking place there? We were told that it should be scrapped. I see a few people there, a few of your officers still working in there.
Oh, you mean the long room?
Yes, the long room.
Okay, the long room as we have it here at the port used to host the compliance seat.
Okay.
But the compliance seat is no longer there.
Okay.
So now the place is vacant.
Yeah.
But we have
That's
allocated.
Empty.
It's empty.
So
we have allocated some of it for for other purposes.
Okay. The fact that you are, and from your figure, about 98% paperless, which is very close to what the Vice President wished for, and the fact that we have scrapped long room, of what benefit has this process been for customers since 2017 September? What's the benefit you've obtained from this directive?
One is swift clearance. Okay.
Is clearance now swift?
Oh yeah, when it comes to exam, that's why I keep saying customs and examination. Yeah, that is what I can talk about at the port here. So it's swift.
How long does it take now?
Yeah, once the container is positioned for examination, and then SMS messages are sent to the agencies involved, I would say within 4 hours you should be able to clear your goods. Now it goes on, yes, within. And I personally have interviewed some declarants. That is where it happens that the declarant has no infraction. Take it.
Where infractions?
Discrepancies, whatever has been declared has been found to be exactly
what it is.
What is it there?
The process won't take more than 4 hours.
Never.
So it means that if your container is placed,
yes,
let's say today, and you have no infractions, by the end of today you should take your goods away.
Wow. You should take your goods away. But the problem is with infractions, and some of the infractions are petty errors we don't expect. And these are some of the challenges. We don't expect declarants, like wrong freight station, wrong freight terminal, okay, on the declaration. So when it happens that the goods are at, let's say, Golden Jubilee, but the declarant has entered TCT, he cannot go ahead to clear until the declaration is rejected by the examination officer at TCT, in whose name the declaration is. And it's a process. Then it will go through the whole mill again, and that can take you another 12 hours or even 24 hours. So that's why, and these are some of the challenges, and we keep educating the public, working with customs, dealing with customs, that they should try to avoid such errors. Otherwise, there will be no problem. And then some of the infractions too have got to do with revenue issues and other technical issues. Yes, like under declaration of quantity after examination, when it's found out the quantity has been under declared, it's a major infraction, and then that calls for short collection to be computed. And in the process, I mean, time will be spent. And these are some of the exceptional cases, and we don't expect this to be frequent. But take note also that now with the new arrangement, the GMS arrangement and the paperless arrangement, we have the channels which we are working, channels for examination, the risk channels.
So with the GMS, you meant the joint inspection,
it goes together with the paperless. We actually work with these channels, these risk channels. We have 3 of them, as you know: the green, the yellow, and then the red. So far, whatever discussion I've had with you is on the red, where it's assumed that physical examination, or what is referred to as intrusive examination, is going to take place. But for now, that constitutes just about 70% of cargo that we work on.
And that's what requires inspection.
That is where we require physical inspection.
So the rest of the
30%, the about 20% of the remaining 30 will go through the scans. And that is non-intrusive examination. We
use the images.
That one is even shorter.
I see.
Yes, because you don't need to open and then bring anything down.
And then I'm sure the
our officers will depend on the report, the scan report, and then the images, and then it's without any infraction.
The scan report, because a lot of people have complained that the scan doesn't give you a full picture, for which reason sometimes even after scanning, your men still do physical inspection.
Well, that may not be accurate.
Our men do after scanning?
Yeah, they do, where the scan report is abnormal. When the scan detects abnormality, then we need to physically find out what
it detect, because we hear complaints that your men more often than not, always want to inspect after scanning.
No, it's not always. Let me give myself about, I don't think that will constitute more than even 5% or 10%.
You sure about
this? Where we don't have any abnormality.
Do you trust the scan
system? Yes, I would say, we do. Unless you don't want to believe whatever the report is. Otherwise, I don't see why. That's why we have constituted some measures where we want each and every container moving from the port to the ICDs, to be scanned, whether it will be channeled through red for physical examination or green, whatever they should go through.
So why don't you secure scanners that will give you 100% proof, for which reason there would be absolutely no need to get additional physical inspection after they've gone through?
No, they are two separate things, and I think these scanners are okay. Yeah, they are to perfection. We don't have problems with the scanners and then their images they are producing. But I'm saying where no abnormality is detected, then there's no business for any officer to open or request for further interrogation or scrutiny of the consignment. But whenever such abnormal reports come out, quickly we have to go to find out what is hidden there in the container, or why is it that it's homogeneous but there's something different in size or maybe in form in there. That one calls for some level of curiosity, and it will demand we open the container or request for the container to be opened for further checks. Yes.
So besides swift clearance, what are other benefits you've made? In terms of money, are you making a lot more money than before?
Yes, I would say, we are making a lot more money. And the reason being The paperless has helped block or plug a very significant leakage, which was falsification of documents.
Oh, you are saying that
yes,
now falsification of documents is not there?
Hard copy. Hitherto, when we were depending mostly on almost on hard copy and papers, we were experiencing falsification of hard copies, customs declarations. But now, as I speak, whatever information is in the system is the authentic information, and that is what we depend on as customs at the port.
How do you know, AC? Because the invoices are churned out by the clearing agents. They compute. Sometimes they don't get original invoice from source, and they can compute their own invoices and put it in there in the system.
They're talking about falsification of documents. I'm talking about where the customs declaration, okay, as it has been validated, it has gone through from the past system, that's pre-arrival system, CCVR has been generated, and whatever information, and the team there, we believe, have done their job well to ensure whatever invoice has been used, okay, to compute the duty, everything is correct, and it has come to the port in the form of a customs declaration.
That one you believe it?
That one we believe it for now.
Okay.
It's not up to us here to interrogate further.
Yeah. Minus the invoices.
Okay, I'm saying we have a team working on that.
Working on which one? The invoices?
The invoices. Check at the
arrival. That has raised a lot of eyebrows, that invoices churned out are sometimes falsified.
I will not say you are wrong. That is there. At that level, there's a way of detecting. Okay, and there's a way of checking to find out whether the invoice value is correct, or we have this ACV, okay, agreement or customs valuation that we observe, okay, and then we have the methodology in the process. Some claim their goods have been overvalued or over uplifted, and then they petition for the values not to be brought down at that level, at the pre-arrival level. That is done. But I'm talking about the declaration itself, as it has been, okay, it has gone through the system. There are instances where people will falsify, they will print and then falsify the information on it. So instead of maybe the declaration calling for 50 cartons, they are able to doctor it to change it to 500 cartons, knowing, because they know what they have brought is rather 500 cartons. Are you getting the point? But the declaration and the duty paid, okay, is for only 50 cartons of that commodity. But if you rely or you depend on the hard copy they've given you, they've been able to manipulate it, okay, to tell you what physically has been examined. So now you will not
be able to do it.
You will not be able to do, because we went through whatever has gone through the system. So you doctor the hard copy, it's just I don't know the word to use, but it's of no value to us.
So I think that
is where we've been able to, and it went on. It's a success.
From what you're saying, I am deducing that to you they can't falsify this, but to the importer whom the agents are representing, there can still be a possibility of printing this copy and still doctor it and misrepresent you out there.
You are right. You are right. You are accurate. It happens.
That aspect, how do you deal with it?
And that is one of the areas, though it's beyond our clearance, after we have done the right thing, and this is it's fraudulent.
Yes.
Okay, it's fraudulent.
But
because the importer is happening because
hugely, because if they can make money off customs or GRA, they would now tend to make money off the importer.
Exactly.
By falsifying, because they can't falsify because paperless is helping you. But to the importer, they still have.
They do, and we get reports. Some complaints come to us. That's why we always advise the general public or the importing public to deal with accredited clearing agents.
Is it sometimes accredited ones are doing that to them?
Wherever they have doubt, they should approach customs.
Okay.
We keep telling them they should approach customs. We have the help desk here. Just go there with your declaration number, and they will give you the genuine declaration in the system for you to reconcile with what has been given to you by your agent or whoever.
I think
we do advise them to do that.
We'll deal with the issue of how to handle some of these things later.
Okay.
Because I think that it's an area that's of major concern.
Very good.
How you have been able to plug your loopholes and curbing the corruption, but the others, we have to look at the other party. But beyond the authenticity of your documents and eliminating corruption on your side, what else?
Yeah, then automatically
revenue comes in.
Revenue, that's exactly.
How much have you made ever
once
since?
you plug the leakage, it means your revenue situation will improve.
What's the percentage of increase which you can attribute?
It's significant.
About?
It's significant, but as compared to the same period, between 2016, 2017 period, okay, September, August 2016, 2017, as compared to 2017, 2018, I think we've made significant gains, growing over 25% in revenue. It's not bad.
25% revenue.
It's over.
And this, you would think that is as a result of the fact that your system is
largely, if you have a perfect system, okay, very efficient system, you don't struggle. Okay, you don't struggle at all. So I think it's largely attributable to the system we're using, the reforms.
Let's talk about inspections. You were supposed to have a joint inspection management information system. Do you have it?
The GMS is in
place.
Is
the GMS working?
It's in place.
It wasn't working before, you would admit, because there were a lot of complaints from September, October, November last year that the GMS had issues.
New system, it takes time to evolve, and in the process you keep reviewing it. So the most recent was July review. Effective 1st July, we reduced about 2 months ago, where the number of inspection agencies was reduced from about 16 also to 3. Okay, to 3. Who are supposed to be on the field examining.
And that is supposed to be you, that's customs.
Yes, that customs,
Ghana Standards
and
Authority,
then FDA. Yeah, so now that is it. And it
but even that, people think that you are still duplicating. I mean, they feel that one organization should take charge.
Well, whatever we do, we look at trying to be, or try to conform to international best practice. And I think
is that what is happening?
What is happening?
The three of them
it's international best practice. You don't need to. Definitely, you cannot do away with
the custom do this alone.
We had done it historically. Historically, we were doing what was referred to as agency duties, where most of these agencies were not.
So you were doing somebody's job.
That was long time ago. That's historically, you see, and you cannot be. You're not your specialized area. So you could not do it perfectly. Then they are there to do it themselves or to help you do it for them.
So you are saying that you think that it's better that we work with them.
It's better that we work with them. Yeah, it's better that we work with them because that's their specialized area. When it comes to the regulatory standards, they understand it better.
Are you still taking separate samples?
No. Our customs lab will take the samples on behalf of
GSA and FDA.
That is what they do.
Standards Authority and Food and Drugs Authority are not supposed to take samples now.
Why? They have the power. They do. They have the power.
But if the three of you are working together, why can't it be one sample taken for the three of you?
Where there's a need for one to be taken, that is what usually. I don't think that duplication.
Do you have a common lab?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it means that you still do separate inspections.
Depending on the commodity in question. The commodity does not require FDA. Then FDA does not have any business taking a sample. Okay, where the commodity depends on the commodity, as we have them tied to the commodity codes. So it depends on the commodity you're talking about.
Going into the future, would you think that you should have a common lab where if you pick one sample, it can be used by the three of you, the three agencies, because the importers are complaining that they bring small item and too many samples are taken.
This is
interesting. We heard that 30 bags of boxes of chicken and things are all taken.
That is not sample. I don't think 30 bags of all 30 boxes of chicken sample.
And sometimes the person brings iron to go and sell, and they take iron to go and sample, and iron never comes back.
That is not what I see. From where I'm sitting. Okay. Yes. And you question why use item like use iron.
Yes.
Customs officer or maybe FDA official. FDA official wants to take use. I don't know. But you, the agent or importer, you should know.
That if they know, they have no choice sometimes, because they say that if you don't give, they won't treat you well.
Okay, some of this.
What has changed
that's why,
with this inspection?
Okay, with this.
What is the positive
this
change that we have seen?
As you rightly said, if everybody is taking sample and we have 16 agencies And now, you getting me? We had 16 agencies, and if even every agency was taking samples, and now it's limited
only
to
3.
Then
That's
you know
still your
something.
samples are
Then
going. 3
something
samples is not bad. Can it be 1?
I don't know the definition they place on samples. No, I don't know the definition, but samples. We just need a representative sample of the commodity. At times for verification of the HS code or the description, and at times, as I said, for the regulatory agencies, they have some standards they want to test to see whether whatever is coming for home consumption meets the standard, you see, as outlined. So, I mean, they have purposes, and all the purposes are very, very relevant.
But are you aware if the barriers have been removed?
Oh, yes, I'm aware barriers have been removed. Everybody knows since September last year
that the barriers have been removed.
We have barriers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So, generally, if you had your way, what other improvement would you recommend that all other agencies who work around the port trade should move to? What's the next step you want to see happen in order to improve this paperless program?
The next step is to ensure, now we're talking about electronic systems we are using, we improve the systems that we are using, okay? Because occasionally we get some technical hitches in the process flow, we get some technical hitches. If we are able to improve that. And also you asked a question about how would the importer know that? So to go to the extent that the importer will have access to check.
And this is how much customs is charging me.
That's transparency.
That transparency is what is giving room for the cheats.
Exactly. So that area of transparency is what I think we need to look at. It's very, very important. Yeah, it's so.
Who should ensure that importers, if I'm in Australia, New Zealand, or Papua New Guinea, I know how much customs is charging me, and that's the money I will give out?
Everybody. And then that is the way, that's why we are discussing this.
Who should lead it?
That's why we are discussing this. So everybody.
So he who has ears should listen.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, but it's very, very important. Yes, yeah. You want to be transparent, so nobody will be cheated by any agent or even any customs officer. That transparency. So you know that this is how much I'm supposed to pay, or this is how much I've paid to the government, and whatever hard copy of a declaration being given to me, that's
not exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm calling for. That transparency, where we make it available to the importer for them to log on onto some website and then get it there straight. This is my declaration number, and this is how much I paid.
So a lot of progress made when it comes to the paperless clearance processes, as you may have heard from the customs, but he also admits that most of the progress when it comes to customs is huge. About 98% of what they hoped the systems should work for them is happening currently. But again, he admits that the same cannot be said when it comes to the importers. Importers are still being duped through falsified invoices and so on. How can importers be made to see exactly what they pay? Whatever Ghana government is charging them through the customs division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is exactly what importers pay to the government, because as it stands, that is not wholly the case. We get a lot of reports from importers who say that, this is what the agent says I should pay. Meanwhile, that is not exactly what is going to Ghana government. How do we deal with this? Somebody must open the system and make it a lot more transparent for even the importers, just the way the customs people are doing it. Next week, we will be talking to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and then we will talk to the freight forwarders who are the clearing agents, their leadership, and find out how we can fine-tune the paperless clearance system to make it the best for all of us.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 News. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Coming up next, schedules of vessels that are sitting in the port and discharging those cargo, as well as those at the anchorage, those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate. People, do you remember this man?
How do you know that the goods are still sitting in the port?
We send somebody to the port. Apart from that, we also pass through some spiritual means that we know the goods at the port.
Some time ago, he reported of missing 4 cranes that were contained in 12 40-footer container that were in the port. We have been finding out a lot of things about this particular story, as we promised you some time back that we would not let it rest until we get his containers back to him. A lot more on that story in the coming future. Thanks for watching the program, and also thanks to the entire crew, particularly the executive producers of the program.